Or hold on, sorry. I just want to make sure that the audio is doing what I need it to do. No surprises. All right, do you guys want me to start with you, or you want to start with the lineup? Because I'll start with the lineup.
Okay.
At center, number 25 from Esteban, Saskatchewan, Hurston Brodziak. At right wing from Montreal, Quebec, number 12, Justin Stavopoulos. And your starting goaltender this evening from Northbrook, Illinois, number 31, Jeremy Foreman. And now back, it's time to get up. It's shot!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn alongside Niall Cooper as the hometown Sun Devils are hosting the number 3 ranked UNLV Rebels. And Niall, talking with the coaching staff earlier tonight, they're very impressed with Arizona State's first period in last weekend's game.
Yeah, last weekend, Arizona State welcomed the University of Arizona into Mountain America Community Iceplex for the first time. It was a really good first period. The coaching staff liked Arizona, brought a lot of energy. That energy seemed to dissipate as the game went on, and ultimately Arizona was able to take control. But the Sun Devils can get another hot start tonight to keep it going. I think that's the recipe for success.
And folks, we'll get you set up with puck drop right now. And for tonight's starting goaltender for the hometown Sun Devils, it's going to be in net, number 31, Nathaniel Glenn. Glenn played in that game last weekend against Arizona. And it looks to be icing on the pass from Kate Olson. For the visiting Rebels, it's going to be number 31, Jeremy Foreman. Foreman spent the last 4 years as the backup at University of New Hampshire, which is at the NCAA Division I men's ice hockey level. Ben Chase was trying to push it forward. He'll come over to the other side. Kate Olson getting some help from Chase. Sun Devils will break it out. Foreman behind his own net trying to rim it out. It's kept in. It'll come over to Kyle Quinn, one of the super seniors on this UNLV roster. Pooch hard on the forecheck. He's able to dislodge the puck out. Alan Eptomov short angle shot goes high. Kept in by Kate Olson. Sun Devils have some good pressure going. Caden Butler behind the net on his backhand. At the point, Olson. D to D with Marchant. Marchant back to Olson. Point shot on, and Foreman's able to fight to the traffic and grab it.
And we talked about in the pregame, Brett, how much we want to see Arizona State get off to a nice hot start. And you saw right there, Carson Pooch coming in hot, number 21, the junior forward. He brought a lot of speed, got physical, and created that turnover that allowed Arizona State to keep that momentum going in the offensive zone.
I think they can run just the way he looks.
Sun Devils dressing an extra forward in the roster tonight, as both teams are battling injuries as well as illness. And so it's going to be a great test for both of these teams' depth as they have to test it early on in this hockey season. Sun Devils trying to keep the Rebels down low, pinned up. Oliver Band, the forward for UNLV. Chip off the high glass, gets it out to the neutral zone. Matthew Gross, tape to tape to Ryan Robinson. He's on the left side. Centers that one in front. That's blocked away into the corner. Erdman will just throw it back down low, as Rebels have not entered in the offensive zone yet until now. Devin Nagra skates it all the way up, cross-corner dump to Erdman, and he'll go for a change. Rebels are trying to flex their muscle on this forecheck, and it will be collected by the assistant captain, Wyatt Palmer. It's great to see him wear a letter, as he's one of these Sun Devils that have been with the program for a while. Finaldi trying to pinch that puck in. He is successful and keeps it down low. Sun Devils having some success on the forecheck so far in this game. Good back check from Tyler Kylie Ram as they come into the corner. And a couple players lose an edge. Wyatt for UNLV. At a point, working with it is Ronan Keenan, and his shot gets punched away by Glenn. Now the Rebels trying to answer back, and that was a tough check, and looks to be a delayed penalty call on the hit from Keenan, and the Rebels will touch it up, and we'll have our first power play of the hockey game.
An interesting call here. Keenan looks a little shocked that that penalty is being assessed to him, as he was just trying to get physical. It's a little late. The puck got away from him. He still decided to lay the body, and Arizona State an early chance on the power play, something that the coaching staff really mentioned they want to work on.
So we'll see how this new look Arizona State power play will play out. Clean draw win, and then they score! Dominic Eptomov was able to collect it cleanly off that initial zone draw win, and the wrist shot gets through the legs of the goaltender Foreman.
And Arizona State, they put in the time during the week, working on the power play, and it only takes all of 4 seconds for them to get on the score sheet.
So the Sun Devils, with their early energy to start this hockey game, paid off as they have the 1-goal lead. Marchand trying to keep it out of his own zone. He can. He's getting some help, though, from Jake King, his back-checking forward. Puck will be played to Hunter Friesen. King keeps it in on the backhand side. The shot on. That'll go behind the net. Centered out in front by Friesen. And Foreman had to put a glove on that puck to get a whistle.
And you love to see the speed early here, Brett. Arizona State, there was a lot of energy over on the bench in the locker room before they came out tonight. You could tell that they were really pumped for this one. The Sun Devils just now starting to get healthy, and what a night for them to come out hot.
Draw one by the Rebels. Ben Chase, good job on the back check, forces that turnover. Zapopoulos will deflect that one in, and trying to clear it up high was Marchand, but it ends up going out of play.
And almost a souvenir for a lucky fan. As we've seen some visiting folks come in from UNLV tonight. They were the first ones in the rink, and they showed up just a few minutes late, Brett. They just missed the Taylor Swift themed free skate tonight.
Yeah, so it looked to be a hot ticket with some of the students here, as this rink's located right on the campus of Arizona State compared to the previous rink, which was just a little off campus. Gallant, another one of those tenured players on this Rebels team, and on the forecheck as Chase goes down, taking a hard check, but he'll advance the puck. And that one will go out of play. Interesting now with us being lucky to call this Arizona State program for the past 5 to 6 seasons. We've seen a lot of these same teams through and through, and it's great to see some familiar faces. As for the head coach for UNLV, Anthony Vanieri-Greener, is in his 10th season coaching the program.
Yeah, how about that? I've only been in the state of Arizona for 10 years. I can't imagine being behind the bench for the one program, and you can really see the continuity and the culture that he's created.
Rose trying to get that shot through. That'll get blocked. Sun Devils really coming out with that energy that head coach Austin Klein reiterated to us before the game. Evtimov keeps it in. Robinson, toe drag around one, wrist shot on, and that's fought off by Foreman.
Nice play by Robinson there. Another turnover created by that Sun Devil forecheck.
Athletic play by Dominic Evtimov. He might have been looking for the volleyball court as the Arizona State women's volleyball team's playing next door at Mold Arena, as he showed off some hops. Rebels coming with some speed. Drop pass to Wyatt. He'll button hook. Finds a defenseman at the point. Shot on. Glenn fights that one off. Rebound still in front. Cleared away in the corner. Cole Wyatt at the point. They go D to D. Shot on. Great block by Matthew Gross as he breaks his stick and goes to the bench for a change. Shot on, and Glenn's able to pick that one up and snag it with 14-19 in this first period.
A big save from Nathaniel Glenn for the Sun Devils. And not the best shift defensively for them, as UNLV, I think, had their best shift so far of the night. It looked like Butler was a little lost defensively, didn't quite have his man in his sights. UNLV, a lot of movement, a lot of speed in the offensive zone. They're not a static team. They really like to keep the pace high, and Arizona State able to withstand that thanks to Glenn.
Rebels collect the puck. Indirect shot off the boards. There's some lively pair of boards here at Mount America Community Iceplex. Play continues. Erdman's shot on ends up hitting his own man off the snapshot. Back and forth we go. Tristan Rand shot on. Rebound in front, and great job by Kylie Ram on the back check to clear that out.
And Rand using that classic old school NHL 2003 shoot for the far side, look for the rebound.
Sun Devils will try to finish off a change. Friesen plays it back to his defenseman, Palmer. And it gets deflected in, and Newland and Kylie Ram goes for a change.
Trevor Kennedy on the bench for the Sun Devils, looking a little gimpy after taking that shot from his teammate.
Yeah, it looked to be in the back of the leg, and there's not really any padding there, so it's just taking it right on. Hopefully he's got to keep that moving around on the bench to hopefully not feel the sting of that. Jensen for UNLV with his line mate Keenan. They keep it in at the point. Wrist shot on, and that gets blocked as that block shot by Erdman. Arizona State takes it for a 2-on-1 now. Friesen's driving hard to the front of the net. The Looking for the redirection in front, was freezing, but doesn't come to his stick. Coming out with it is Kyle Quinn. As he played it over to the Rebels bench, they had to be careful because there could have been too many men.
There's certainly a lot of red sweaters on the ice at one moment there.
Gallant. Trying to get it over to Statopoulos. Now at the point. Nagra, as he handcuffed his partner Corolla, but Corolla does a great job of keeping that puck in front of him and not having to chase an Arizona State player. Puck will be played by Alan Evtimov, and he'll just ladle that one in behind the net. Nagra trying to force it up that far side. He'll get some help from Statopoulos, and the Rebels can break it out. As Glenn's forced to freeze it, but it looked like they might have been a delayed offsides call, and the referees telling the linesman that the faceoff is properly going to be taken outside of the Arizona State zone.
And a good break for Arizona State there. And you saw the hard work on that previous shift, number 25, Preston Brodziak, the transfer for UNLV, with some good work on the forecheck. Getting nice and physical, almost created a really dangerous turnover right in front of Glenn. And the Sun Devils just able to deal with it.
Always important for any traveling team when you come into your first game of the weekend to kind of get all that rust off from those bus legs. And the Rebels, although they gave up a goal, have been having a good response in these last few minutes.
Yeah, the Rebels starting to find their footing, no pun intended, as you can see the speed really picking up right now, and the ice starting to tilt a little bit.
Turnover in front and a shot on, and that's blocked by Dominic Evtimov. His brother plays it up to Caden Butler. Butler trying to hop on his horse, but he's unable to get there. That's something it'll be interesting to watch if Arizona State can keep it up, is paying the price of victory. And one of those things you have to pay for is blocking shots in front. And so far, you have to like what you see out of these Sun Devils. Odd man rush for the Rebels quickly, and that snapshot goes high off the stick of Parker Williams. Wyatt Palmer. Stretch pass, almost was able to find Robinson. Good stick by Tristan Rand on the back check.
The Sun Devils looking for that seam pass through the middle, almost got in behind the defense.
Rand will dump that one in, and it'll be a wholesale change for both teams as Palmer sets up behind his net. He gets chased out and moves over to Kylie Ram. Kylie Ram with some speed. Centers it in front, trying to find the stick of Kennedy. Now at the point, Robinson drops it off to Marchand. Rashad, he scores! Ty Marchand, usually known for his quick skating moves and deking ability, ends up ripping one with the wrister and beats Foreman to make it 2-0.
Ty Marchand quickly becoming one of the veteran leaders on this team. And what a presence on the blue line. He's been very engaged tonight. We've seen him in the back end really putting in some great work, breaking the puck out and getting rewarded for that offensive IQ of his as that puck just finds a way through. And the Sun Devils up 2-0 as we're just hitting the halfway point of the first. You couldn't draw up a better start.
Olsen plays the body as he gets ran into by Evan West of UNLV. Beautiful breakout pass by Olsen to Carter Newland coming in as he goes around the net. Still fighting for it, trying to eat a couple checks from some UNLV players, but the Rebels can break it out, and looks to be maybe a little too eager from Kylie Ram as he ends up taking a hooking call. And although it was a penalty, it's probably one you don't mind taking for Arizona State, as there was a lot of hustle by Kylie Ram on the back check there.
Yeah, you certainly like to see that. It was not a lazy penalty by any means. Kylie Ram just goes straight to the box. Also, looking at the bench, nice to see Dominic Evtimov back. He took that block shot earlier, laid it on the line, and he had to step off for a few minutes to compose himself. Glad to see he's back for Arizona State. They're going to need him as this game continues to move on.
So the Rebels will now take their stab at the man advantage. They win it cleanly off that initial zone draw. Wyatt plays it back down in the corner. Evan West enters that one in front, and Gallant ends up healing that shot, missing the net. Gallant up at the point. Dylan Kuntz. Kuntz shows to Gallant, and that short angle one-timer shot goes high. Paul Wyatt slows it down. He'll get it back from his defenseman. They play pitch and catch to Wyatt. Wyatt swaps spots. Wyatt still with the wrist shot on, and Erdman's able to get a leg on there and block the shot. Rebels still keeping this pressure on and keeping this puck moving. Go on at the point to Kuntz. Kuntz tries to get back to his spot. Gallant walks out from the corner, and he rings one off the post. 55 seconds left on the man advantage. Wyatt has to go to the bench to get a new stick, and they score! Looks to be a UNLV bounce, as I think it hit a ASU defenseman in front and went past the goaltender, Glenn. Either way, the Rebels will take it. It's 2-1.
And unfortunately, Brett, you called it just right. That puck took a very fortunate deflection for UNLV right off of Erdman. He threw his head up to the stars as he was trying to get that blocked shot. And unfortunately for Arizona State, things were looking up. A UNLV forward had to go off for a broken stick. It was 4-on-4 for a minute. You're thinking maybe the Sun Devils can get a clear. UNLV able to continue that pressure. A lot of movement on that power play, and they're rewarded with that C&I shot.
So a high-scoring game already, as 3 goals have happened in this almost first half of this first period. One-timer shot goes wide by Brodziak. It'll come to the stick of Hunter Friesen if he could handle it, as that puck is bouncing end over end. King tries to get a shot through, blocked by Stathopoulos. Dominic Eftimov ends up skating past the puck. It's a 2-on-1. Austin Cameron on the back check. Great stick by Nick Quinaldi, the freshman, as he was able to deny a great scoring opportunity for the Rebels. Stathopoulos has some time. Shot blocked by King for ASU. And plays whistle down as King's helmet flies off.
And already, I think we might have seen as many blocked shots in the first 13 minutes of this game as we saw from Arizona State all of last weekend against the University of Arizona. The Sun Devils all in right now, really buying in. Some great defensive play in front of their own net from Benaldi. Really high IQ play from the freshman, diagnosing that 2-on-1 defensively, coming in with an active stick at the last moment to break it up.
Rebels when they draw a point shot on. That time it's blocked by Gross. Marchand's breakout pass was a little too strong, and icing will be called.
This is a UNLV team that you do not want to give free opportunities to. We mentioned the penalty wasn't the worst that we've seen. You never want to put them on the power play nonetheless. I'm sure Kylie Ram would tell you just as much, but the Sun Devils really need to be clean getting out of their zone tonight. Don't give up a lot of icing calls, because if you give one good offensive zone face-off win for UNLV, it could turn into 30 or 45 seconds of pressure in zone time.
Absolutely, partner, as the Rebels win that zone draw again, but it's blocked by Caden Butler. Robinson trying to get there first, but he can't, as Jackson Wyatt, the defenseman, will beat him out. Arizona State head coach Austin Klein also mentioned to us before the game that this is going to be a good barometer test for these 2 games against UNLV. This is a much storied program, as last year they made it all the way to the national championship game but ended up losing.
A great season for UNLV, and they came up just short.
Butler in on the forecheck, couldn't get his pass up to the point. And the wraparound shot from Robinson gets denied by Foreman. Under 7 minutes to play in this first period. Arizona State striking twice quickly, and UNLV responding. Off the rush is Rand as he centers that one in front. Now to Band. Newland intercepts that pass. To the captain, Kate Olson. Butler near the end of his shift as he's trying to buy some time and make his way to the Arizona State bench. Marchant will cross corner dump that in, but it's a little too high as it hits off one of the pipes here at South America Community Iceplex.
And going back to our point about UNLV partner, as they've started to establish a little bit of more of a foothold and taking the lead in the shots on goal. They came so close last season in nationals. In the Final Four game, they beat out fellow WCHL team UCO in a spirited 6-4 contest. We know our colleague, Mr. Chris Perry, certainly enjoyed that one.
As the puck will come over to the half wall as the rugby scrum develops. Both teams are trying to dig for it here. It'll pop out to Kylie Ram, and they'll try to break it out the other side. Palmer to Carter Newland. And direct pass will be played by the goaltender Foreman. And UNLV will get it out. Ice is really chewed up right now in this first period as both teams are trying to fight the puck as they stick handle.
And after that free skate before this game, Brett, you could say that the quality ice right now is trouble, trouble, trouble.
As Benaldi will get there first, and icing is called. Some might say you need to shake it off, Kyle, and fight these ice conditions, as both teams are dealing with it.
That's certainly the case, and Arizona State's had a real love story so far early in the season with first periods and hot starts. And as the UNLV started to come back in this, we really want to see the Sun Devils get back on some good offensive zone shifts. It's been a lot of one-and-dones lately.
Bradley Gallant dekes around one. He's trying to track that puck down. Dominic Evtimov rims it around to Cooch. Nice play by Cooch. Able to bait the defender to come and hit him and break it out. Shot on from Ben Chase, and that misses just wide. Cooch walks the line, takes a shot, now gets it through, and he scores! Carson Cooch, the forward, showing off his prowess as he was walking the line on the blue line, and he restores Arizona State's 2-goal lead. And you can hear the cowbell in the background. The fans are loving it, and I'm loving it. Carson Cooch has been having himself a first period, doing it all defensively. The hustle's been there in every facet of the game, and he gets rewarded. Another shot from the point through traffic. There seems to be a theme so far tonight. And I have to think that I believe all 4 goals tonight have been scored from the blue paint. Not the crease, that is, from the blue line.
Certainly the first time you see that. The majority of goals in hockey are always scored right around the net. Right now, both teams bucking that trend. Getting back in his own zone is Oliver Band. He tries to get some free ice, but he'll get it poked away by a couple Arizona State players. Kuntz turned over to Dominic Evtimov. Evtimov will skate in now. Tries to play it through the middle with some creativity, but gets Shepard in the corner. Tristan Rand ends up getting a lot of Dominic Evtimov at the blue line, as it's a great job by the Sun Devil defenseman to play the body and force him to dump it in. Robinson fresh off the bench. Still ends up losing his edge. Trying to look for a call, but he's not getting any from the referees. Gross fresh off the bench. Seal that wall and try to chase it down in the UNLV zone. Rebels really close to too many men on the ice penalty there. Olsen keeps it in. Will play it back down low. Devin Nagra on his backhand trying to get it out. Robinson will keep it in momentarily, but the Rebels skated out with Kuntz. But he turns it over at the center ice line, and oh man, that would have been a great opportunity for Arizona State, but they just couldn't handle the puck. And as you mentioned, the ice continuing to get a little bit worse and deteriorate as this first period starts to wind down. Marchant with a nice tight turn. Elects to skate this one in. Wrist shot on, and it's a juicy rebound to the other side to Newland, but he couldn't get a puck handle on it.
Under 3 minutes to play in this first period. Joseph Corolla, the defenseman in the corner. Now played at the point. Shot on, glove down by Erdman. Stretch pass to Kylie Ram. Shot on, beautiful stop by Foreman as Trevor Kennedy released a shot, and it looks like he took a tumble into the boards, and the referees will whistle it down as the Arizona State trainer is going to be hopping into action.
Trevor Kennedy, he was in with a lot of speed on that offensive chance and just lost an edge. Nothing malicious about the play, just an unfortunate event as he had so much speed as he started to go down. He couldn't do anything but run right into the boards. And you saw him just go face first right into the dasher.
And part of it too, folks, is it's hard to handle the puck when this ice is so chewed up, but also too to skate as well. There's a lot of big divots and ruts into the ice as these players are skating hard. A lot of them have a lot of muscle out there, and so they can really dig into the ice when they're cutting and turning on their edges. And sometimes that could end up making you lose an edge if you're skating over one.
And it's certainly interesting because in all the years that we've seen Arizona State play in previous seasons before this and the last at Oceanside, the ice was always an issue at Oceanside. So there was a lot more tumbling and falling, you could say, consistently.
Great to see that Trevor Kennedy getting up on his own powers. He's kind of had a rough period as he took that shot inadvertently by one of his teammates in the back of the leg. Seems to be that it's not his night in this first period. As Kennedy will exit to the icing, get fully checked out by the training staff, play will go on. UNLV has to touch up to get back onside. Austin Cameron to Carter Newland will throw it down low. Foreman will help it along to Stathopoulos as we have under 2 minutes to play in this first period. Gallant with a lot of speed trying to track the puck down, and it's whistled down as it looks to be an interference call to Ty Marchand.
And that's just really an unfortunate play for Ty Marchand. That puck bouncing, we keep talking about the quality of the ice. That puck was bouncing and hopping so much, Marchand couldn't get a play on it. The puck goes right on edge, goes between his legs, and the only thing Marchand can do at that point, as Gallant is trying to cut around him for the breakaway, is to take him out. At that point, a smart penalty to take. Just an unfortunate situation for the goal scorer tonight, Marchand.
The Rebels will have their second power play of the period, and they win that draw cleanly. Wyatt, the one-timer shot, and good job by Glenn, able to track that puck. King with a possible shorthanded opportunity. Bill button hook, plays it down low, shot by Chase, and that's blocked out in front. Sun Devils doing a good job of forcing the Rebels to waste all their energy defending rather than attacking on this power play.
A real heads-up play by Jake King. He could have pushed that puck back defensively. You saw Wyatt Palmer lifting his stick up, asking for it. Instead, generates a chance and kills some more clock.
Rebels will collect it now and try to get settled in the offensive zone. Passing the skates of Wyatt. Palmer doing a great job pressuring and dumping the puck all the way down to get a change. Under 60 seconds left in this first period. Shot in behind the net of Glenn. Dominic Eptom off a hard rim around. And about 50 seconds remain on the power play for the Rebels.
Another player who's had a good first period for Arizona State, Dominic Evtimov, as he gets that clearance, and the Sun Devils doing a phenomenal job shorthanded at the moment.
Getting in is Stathopoulos. Now Nagra helps out his line mate. Benaldi with an active stick, and Rebels will collect it on the corner boards, and that shot on by Glenn as he was able to get that shot before that follow-up rebound opportunity and get a whistle.
And Benaldi defending his goaltender in front, letting number 21, Kristen Rand, know that this is my house, Kristen. 21 seconds remain in the period.
Rebels win the face-off again. Wrist shot on, rebound in front. Sun Devils trying to clear it out. It's finally cleared out by Robinson. As this period is just about to wind down here in Tempe. As it was a great back and forth period, but Arizona State, similar to last weekend with their first period start, they had another good one here tonight.
A wonderful start. Even though they gave up a goal, it really was one of the few great chances that UNLV had, and even just an average chance at that. The Sun Devils, I thought, really dictated the pace of play, and they certainly deserve to be up right now in this game.
And folks, we'll bring you live second period action here in just under 15 minutes as we get this ice resurfaced here in Tempe. At the score after one, Arizona State 3, UNLV 1. This is Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ASU ACHA Hockey's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn with my partner, Niall Cooper. And Niall, it was a spirited first 20 minutes of play in Arizona State with a hot start.
They certainly did. We talked about it enough. It was wonderful to see it come to fruition. The Sun Devils really coming out hot, bringing everything. You could see every line, every defensive pairing was engaged. The goaltending was great. Certainly UNLV is going to bring a much tougher task in the second period.
As the Sun Devils carried over a penalty, a brief one, maybe about a couple seconds, and now they're back to 5-on-5 play. Wrist shot on, and Glenn's able to get his body out in front for that stop. Cooch, stretch pass, just out of reach for Alan Edtomoff. He's hustling, and he'll get to the puck first. Eats a check, gets some help from Cooch. Down low to Chase in the corner. Snapping that puck around, the wrist shot on, misses high. Rebound in front. Oh, and a sprawling block by Quinn as that point shot rammed off the boards for a juicy rebound. Sun Devils starting well again in this first period as Carollo has to dump it down deep.
And UNLV predictably coming out with a little bit more of an effort as they finally start to shake off the bus legs here in Tempe. And Arizona State, good to see them bounce back and go right down the ice and generate their own chance.
Major turnover, and oh man, it was going to be a 2-on-0, and Rand ends up overskating the puck as I think maybe his eyes got a little too big, knowing that was going to be a free breakaway. Good passing by the goaltender. Glenn will break it out of his own zone. Cooch and Butler out in front. Dominic Evtimov ends up having that puck hop over his stick. Benaldi will elect to chip that one in, and it'll just scoot past the goaltender Foreman, and icing's called.
And Cooch continuing the hard effort on that forecheck. We saw him down on all fours in the corner, and he was still applying the pressure. I really love what I've seen so far from Cooch as he's been on that third line. And Brett, as you know, it's always integral to have a really good third line. And so far tonight, I'd say all three top lines for the Sun Devils have played pretty evenly.
Matthew Gross with some speed. Turned over to Robinson. Robinson trying to send out that one, and ends up getting blocked by the skate of Wyatt. And Benaldi is unable to keep that puck in. As the Sun Devils, again, you have to imagine, but in between periods, head coach Austin Klein's message to his team was to keep that pressure on, especially against a good team like UNLV.
Yeah, and it was fun to see the excitement on Austin Klein's face as we were talking to him before the game tonight, as it really seemed like this was a game that they wanted, that they're looking forward to. A huge test up against this UNLV team. It's interesting when you look at UNLV's schedule so far this season. They open their first two games. Most teams, what would you want? You'd want a cakewalk, something, just kind of get loose, get your feet underneath you, remember that you know how to skate. No, they decide to go and play at Lindenwood, an NCAA Division I program, before they then come home and play the polar opposite, Oregon, which is a Division I team in the WCHL, but certainly not to the caliber of UNLV, as the Rebels had two dominant victories, and Arizona State, a much more quality program compared to what UNLV saw last week, especially on the road for them. And this is a fun contest. I'm looking forward to the rest of this game.
Rebels will dump that one in. Glenn will have to paddle that one to the corner. Kate Olson with his head up as he's trying to hit that stretch man. Newland. They don't connect on the pass, but icing's waved off. Kylie Ram unable to intercept it. Sun Devils having some success on the forecheck, making it tough for the Rebels to break out. Rebels trying to do the same. They get the puck, centering that one out in front. It's blocked away. Now at the point. Some pitching catch between the defensemen. Wrist shot through, and Glenn's able to fight through the bodies and snag it.
And you saw it getting physical back behind the net. Number 10, Dylan Jensen, laying the body for UNLV. The Fargo, North Dakota native, having no problem getting physical. A lot of these UNLV players from up north used to the cold weather. As my partner and I know myself, Brett, I certainly packed an extra set of underwear tonight. I don't know about you, but it was all the way down to 65 degrees when I walked in here tonight. Really, really chilly.
I couldn't believe it. And if you've been paying attention to any of the temperatures here in the local Phoenix area in the past few months, we haven't even seen the 60s back since March or April. Rebels win the draw. Rimmed around by Nagra. Cameron gets some help from King, and they dump it out. King on his horse, trying to lay the body down on Nagra. It's a turnover to Friesen. Friesen shot on, and he's trying to force a pass where maybe he should have shot. Rebels come the other way. That pass from John Karaman ends up getting put into the corner. It looks to be a delayed penalty call to UNLV, as Carollo will touch the puck, and we'll see what the penalty is. Ooh, it looks to be a boarding call.
And Friesen taking a hard right in the corner after that chance he had in the offensive end. You could see Austin Cameron was even pointing at Friesen, telling him, shoot the puck, shoot the puck. Friesen elected to try to force that pass, something we have seen a few too many times in the offensive zone for Arizona State. Never a bad thing to get a shot on goal. You know, just like when you want to ask out a pretty girl at the coffee shop. It's always a no until you ask. It's never going to be a goal until you shoot.
And the Rebels will win that draw and dump it all the way down. Dominic Evtimov's getting harassed from the forward Oliver Band of UNLV. But they can break it out. Ty Marchand to Kate Olsen. Comes to Dominic Evtimov, he scores! Evtimov just picks the puck up from the board, and he wires one Western Union style past the goaltender Foreman, and the Sun Devils add another one to the tally.
And you can hear that deposit hit from all the way over here. Cha-ching was what I heard as that ripped into the back of the net. Evtimov, a wonderful game. First period, he was laying the body. We saw him step off the ice at one point to get a little bit of treatment because he was laying it all on the line for Arizona State. At the other end, building that offensive prowess. And we've seen the IQ on display last weekend so far tonight. Evtimov always reading the play, seems to be a step ahead, and that puck deposited in the back of the net, and Arizona State increases their lead.
And with that as well, UNLV elects to go for a goalie change here to start the second period, as number 1, Doug Wakeland, is now between the pipes for the Rebels. Sun Devils trying to apply the pressure again. As Nick Benaldi plays up for the point, and we'll have a whistle as a couple players tangled up. Carson Cooch there for Arizona State, and Dylan Kuntz for UNLV.
And you hear that in the background, Brett? Da, 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 da. I think that might be Johnson. Oh no, that's just Carson Cooch, as we saw him getting planted on the ice, and it looked more like a wrestling match there than it did a hockey game for a moment.
As maybe it's something to possibly spark his UNLV team, as Kuntz and Cooch are going to be heading to the box, and we'll have some most likely 4-on-4 play happening for the next 2 minutes.
And I have to say, looking at that replay, some great form from Kuntz on the takedown there.
And it looks to be the faceoff will still be in the offensive zone for Arizona State. And going back to that goalie change with Doug Wakeland coming in, I'm not sure if you can really put a decent amount of those goals against the goaltender Foreman just on him alone, as there were a lot of nice shots that went through. I think it's more of a case for Anthony Vanieri-Greener to try to get his team back into one. That turnover came to the stick of Robinson, but it got partially blocked and makes it an easy first save for Wakeland.
I think that's exactly the case. No one's going to be blaming Foreman for any of those goals tonight. As we discussed earlier in this broadcast, a lot of shots through traffic for Arizona State, and the goal as well for UNLV tonight. And really, UNLV just needs a spark, as it is all Sun Devils at the moment.
I was correct with my assumption. We will have 4-on-4 play for the next 2 minutes. So a lot of open ice out in front, and all alone was Dylan Jensen, but he just couldn't get a handle on the pass. Here come the Sun Devils. Robinson trying to find that backdoor pass to Butler. He'll collect it off the boards. Dominic Evtimov jumping in. Saucer pass, gets sticked away. Now it's an odd man rush for the Rebels. Bonaldi, the only man back for Arizona State. Glenn with the stop and with the save. And we go back and forth. Butler in with speed. Butler trying to force that pass through, gets blocked. Send it out in front. Marchant wires one and fires and misses high. And a lot of excitement. You can even feel it from some of the fans here at Mount America Community Iceplex as this has been end-to-end during this 4-on-4 play.
Just in the first 60 seconds, chances galore at both ends. And with all the free space on the ice, you can see speed really starting to take over.
Fresh men off the bench for UNLV, but they can't handle the pass. 2-on-1. Gross to Marchand and his skates, but he couldn't pull the trigger. That was a tough pass to handle. Kate Olson. Kate Olson still with it. Shot on, and that gets fought off by Wakeland. Matthew Gross gets pinned up to the wall as they try to jab forward. Austin Cameron trying to get there. 15 seconds remain on 4-on-4 hockey. Olson seals the wall. Gross fighting forward. It'll now come to the stick of Quinn, and he'll buy some time as now we're back to full strength play. Rand coming in, driving hard, and we'll have a whistle and also a penalty.
And that looks like Ty Marchand's going to be the one going to the box. And he is certainly not happy with the call at all. And I think safe to say that was certainly on the weaker side of the calls we've seen so far tonight, as it was a very soft shot that he gave in the lower back to the forward. The UNLV player seemed to already be losing his edge as he was trying to make that power move from his right to his left. And it just took a slight bump to knock him down. But nonetheless, UNLV absorbing a lot of pressure. They did give up a goal, but a chance to get one back.
And they'll possess it in the offensive zone to Dylan Kuntz, and he'll rim that all the way back around to the other side of the ice. Wyatt Palmer in for Arizona State. Can't clear it. Walking the line is Kuntz. Over to Wyatt. He'll get it back. Kuntz's shot gets blocked. Erdman off to the races with Cooch. But it's a inaccurate pass by Erdman, but that'll still allow Arizona State to try to wind some of this clock on the penalty. Kylie Ram working hard. He forces Wakeland behind his net to play it. Kylie Ram working hard, and Arizona State bench trying to look for a call on the play. They don't get one.
I think I might have even raised my hand there for a penalty. That looked like Wakeland took out Kylie Ram. Some hard work on the forecheck from the centerman for Arizona State.
Ben Chase on the back check. Gets that puck all the way down. Arizona State keeping up the intensity and the pressure, even a man down. Less than 45 seconds remain on the power play for the Rebels, and they'll dump it in and chase it. Oliver Band plays it back down to the weak side. Chase will try to seal it on the wall. It'll get stripped away. Brodziak at the point, looking for that one-timer. He won't get it. Nagra will drag and shoot one, and that was up high, glove level for Glenn, and he'll get a whistle.
And, you know, just like the A-team loves when a plan comes together, Brett, you certainly love it if you're Austin Klein. It's interesting. We talked to him before the game, and the first thing he mentioned that they worked on from last weekend to now was special teams. And what have we seen tonight? We've seen the Arizona State power play look so much more dangerous than they have so far this season. 1 for 10 coming into tonight, and the penalty kill looking maybe even better, as they have done a fantastic job of stymieing this UNLV attack.
Rebels try to come back in, but they do so illegally as they're a little too eager on that neutral zone regroup to get back in the offensive zone, and only 12 seconds remain on the Marchand minor penalty. Got one by the Rebels. They'll just elect to possess this one in their own zone. Southopoulos. Not a clean pass to his line mate. Friesen takes it back in his own zone, but he turns it over. Shot out in front. Glenn doesn't know where it is. And we'll finally have a whistle, as I think he might have squeezed his legs together to finally have a stoppage to the play.
And that was big from Glenn to secure that, not give up that rebound. As Tristan Rand, the sophomore forward, was waiting in the wings. He made a beeline to the front of the blue paint. If that puck would have squirted out, he would have had an easy chance to pot it home on the rebound. And a quick chance out of nothing for UNLV. That's the kind of attack and the kind of skill that they possess. They can hit you just like that. And Arizona State needs to be careful, especially with the long change in this second period. They do not want to let UNLV start building up momentum and zone time.
As Marchant's fighting his way through a couple Rebel checkers. Quinn with the reverse pass in his own zone, but Murphy's intercepted it momentarily. Parker Williams vices through the middle, still with it. Shot on, gets sticked away by Glenn. King turning those legs, but he's unsuccessful with the pass, and he'll have to retrieve the puck. Jensen, and he'll get a rough ride in the boards by number 24, Jonathan Murphy. And the puck will bounce off. Icing's waved off. Marchant with the stretch pass, but I'm not sure if he saw Cameron all the way at the far blue line.
A couple close icing calls at both ends, and good to see Murphy, shout out number 24 for the Sun Devils, the last forward on the sheet for tonight's game, and he was putting an effort in on that last shift, delivering a huge check as Jensen was building up a lot of speed coming out of his own zone. That could have spelled trouble if he would have been able to get past Murphy and skate that puck in the offensive zone.
And great to see Arizona State trying to get a collective 60 minutes of full effort going, and so far, as we're just past the halfway mark here in the second period, they've been doing just that. Rebound in front as that ricocheted off of the back wall behind the net of Glenn. Made the stop. Another one centered out in front, and that gets whacked away. Palmer with some great agility as he was trying to bat that one out with his glove hand. He'll get some help from his winger, Robinson. Robinson gets pushed off. Now Butler will have it, and we'll have a whistle. And it looks to be a couple players were trying to bargain for that puck, and it seemed to be Palmer, the odd man out, as he heads to the sin bin.
And interesting, not too often you see the player on his own D's go to the penalty box. And UNLV going to go on another attack here. Palmer was the one coming in late, delivering a check. Certainly unnecessary, you would call that from Palmer. I think a little over eager as he saw the Rebel player in front of him and just wanted to continue that physicality that Arizona State's been playing with tonight. However, that's a spot where you need to rein it in. And unfortunately, Palmer's going to sit for 2 minutes.
Sun Devils this time will win the draw, and Cooch will dump it all the way down. Oliver Band going to get a clean pass. Glenn dangerously plays it out, and he'll get some help from Chase, and that'll force UNLV back in their own zone.
Sun Devil penalty kill, continuing to work hard here, killing off the first 30 seconds with ease.
Southopoulos gets his pass taken away by Marchant, and he'll dump it down. Sun Devils doing a great job so far, not allowing UNLV to be comfortable in the offensive zone. Ban on his forehand side, plays it all the way around, and unable to keep it in is his defenseman, Dylan Kuntz. And he'll have to go back to the neutral zone and skate it back in. Far angle shot gets sticked away by Glenn. Gallant. Rebels can possess it a little bit. Now the one-timer shot. Rebound in front. Glenn makes a couple stops. Kept in. Jackson Wyatt. As showing the shot was Kuntz, but he doesn't end up taking it. Marchant can't clear it. 30 seconds remain on the man advantage for UNLV. Kuntz One-timer shot again by Wyatt on that short angle side, and Glenn's looked sharp all game. Gallant. Kuntz has to settle that puck down. He gets it through, and they score. Looks to be a redirection in the middle of the ice. I think it's going to maybe go to the senior Bradley Gallant, as he was able to angle his stick blade to get that past Glenn.
And a nice shot from the point. UNLV, what did they do? They built up that zone time, and sure enough, it was Gallant, the super senior, getting that deflection. A nice move by him to get that back across the grain. The goaltender moving from his right to his left as the puck goes back the other way. And for Arizona State, the last thing you want to do is allow UNLV a chance to get back in if they gave up a couple poor penalties. And the Sun Devils now cannot afford to let the momentum continue to move into UNLV's favor.
Rebels turn it over on the offensive blue line. Dominic Evtimov looking for that stretch pass. Icing waved off. Alan Evtimov, his brother, fakes the cycle play. Quick snapshot on by Benaldi, gets blocked. And that'll get dumped all the way down. Sun Devils have to hustle to get there, and they don't. Great job by Dylan Jensen to beat out the icing call for UNLV. Kylie Ram will get it to Nick Benaldi as he activates from the defensive end. Newland will chip and charge that one towards the goaltender, Wakeland, and Wakeland will make the stop.
And a cheeky play there from Newland, passing it almost to himself, trying to move it right off the goaltender. We've seen that ourselves over the years, Brett. A longtime Sharks fans, you and I. The American legend Joe Pavelski made that an iconic play back in his prime. And love to see that from Newland. He's at his best when he's moving his feet and getting in the offensive zone, using his high hockey IQ, his creativity. That was a very creative play, in the Sun Devils with an offensive zone draw now.
Erdman, punch shot out, he scores! Erdman ends up tickling the twine as he beats Wakeland up high, blocker side, and the Sun Devils get their 3-goal lead back.
Erdman, the #1 fan club right here, folks. As we sit in the corner of the rink here at Mount America Community Iceplex, we've been cheering Ian Erdman on all season long, giving him his flowers, and now him getting his goal. First goal of the season for Erdman. Another point shot finds its way through, and shout out once again to Newland, the sophomore forward, creating that opportunity by getting that offensive zone draw, and the Sun Devils take back the 3-goal lead.
And they'll come again as Newland was trying to hit that stretch man Gross. Good back check by Band. Now Band has the puck. Trying to fight off the check from Erdman. And a swarm of Sun Devils there just lodging the puck away from the stick of Band. As the Sun Devils really look energized after getting that goal.
And the energy has been there all night. You can see it on the bench, though, for the Sun Devils. Almost a swagger about them at the moment.
Palmer will reverse pass and plays it up to Erdman. But Erdman turns it over at the blue line. The one-timer shot, and that gets saved by Glenn.
And with 5:37 left here in this period, the Sun Devils, they may be down in the shot clock 26-18, but up 5-2 on the scoreboard, and I think it really reflects the way that play has gone so far tonight for Arizona State, as they have looked wonderful. We talked to the head coach before the game. You want to see that 60-minute effort, and right now Arizona State well on the way to accomplishing that.
By Marchant will head that puck forward as Wakeland will fake like he's going to freeze the puck and let the play continue. King out in front, kept in by Marchant at the point. Marchant walks the line, fakes it, trying to get a shooting lane, and that'll just go wide. Roziak for UNLV to Gallant, but Gallant just does enough to force Arizona State to dump it back in. As we have under 5 minutes left to go here in the second period, it's a 5-2 Sun Devil lead. Freezing at the half wall, can't get it out. Down beneath the goal line, Austin Cameron, one of the new Sun Devils, gets some help from Marchant. They'll get it out, but Friesen overskates it. Rebels come back in. Jensen, wrist shot on, blocked by Kate Olsen. Another shot on, and that misses wide from Ronan Keenan. Pace of play still going fast, still going hard, both of these teams, as we'll finally have a stoppage in play as that's whistled for an icing.
And we had a great view there. The puck really starting to bounce around again here, partner. We saw it in the latter stages of the first period. The ice really chewed up tonight, coming off of a lot of usage so far tonight. As we reference once again that free skate, a lot of folks on the ice earlier really chewing it up, and glad to see the folks coming out playing, supporting Arizona State both on and off the ice.
Be some confusion as that was an icing call, which does not allow Arizona State to make a change since they were the guilty party. And the referees are trying to get the correct man back on the ice. It's going to be Marchand. And usually in these scenarios, even though it's the letter of the law, it still gives Arizona State a break.
A little bit of a gamesmanship move there from Evtimov. Just buying Marchand a few more seconds to get a little more oxygen.
Parolo fans on the point shot, but it's kept in. By Marchand will eat a check. Friesen trying to find one of his Sun Devil teammates, but they can't connect, and he'll get it out anyways. Cooch will dump that one down, and I think he was unsure if that man that was on that far blue line was either going to stay on the ice or go for a change. And in that event, his line mate went off the ice, and that ended up being an icing. Looks to be the same issue for the Sun Devils, as the referees are trying to make sure that the same 5 players on the ice for Arizona State are out there. Clean draw win, and whistling that shot high was Tristan Rand for UNLV. As the rugby scrums up against the boards. As if you're Arizona State right now, you don't mind having that puck die near the boards, as it's to the outside of the ice. Cooch trying to corral that, but he'll get bodied by Wyatt, and he'll go for a change. Alan Evtimov has to brace himself for that check, and he'll get checked again by a back-checking Rebels player, but he's still on his feet.
And to your point, Arizona State certainly happy to eat some clock here and just play it simple down the stretch, as you would love to take a 3-goal lead into the intermission.
Tristan Rand will find some space. Drop pass. Shot on by Wyatt. Centered out in front, and it was dangerously squirting through the crease. Luckily, Ben Chase was there for Arizona State to clear it out. And they'll dump it down. Icing waved off. Headman pass by Wickland trying to catch Arizona State going for a change, and they end up coming in offside.
And Justin Stathopoulos whacking the puck away in frustration. The Montreal, Quebec native maybe saying a few cheeky words in French that we wouldn't be able to tell you or translate on the broadcast.
Don't look at me, partner. I did Spanish in high school.
That was smart. I took 2 years of French, and I couldn't tell you one word of it.
Nick Benaldi coming out of his own zone will elect to flip it out. Dylan Ford for UNLV. Almost turned it over. He's able to collect his own pass. Now it'll finally be collected by UNLV, and they'll break it in. Brodziak. Brodziak still with it. Centered out in front. Up at the point. Shot on from Ford. Gets blocked. And that gets chipped down. With this ice all chewed up, that puck's not going to go all the way down for an icing call. Newland on the forecheck. Good to see Trevor Kennedy back out there as he's pressed his man up against the wall. But unfortunately, no Sun Devil player there manning the blue line.
Not a whole lot of ice time for Kennedy after that hard check that he took earlier. Good to see him back after the boarding call. that saw him a little bit woozy.
Turnover in front as Kylie Ram was trying to get the pass from Newland and just didn't have enough mustard on it. Jensen, he's had a good period so far for UNLV. He's working hard on the forecheck. Get some help from Williams at the point, Nagra. A one-timer shot by Karaman, and he ends up fanning on it. Under 60 seconds left in the second period. Parolo to Karaman. In the corner, Erdman takes a hard check from Dylan Jensen, the forward for the Rebels. But he gets back up on his feet. Palmer, around 2 Rebels players. We'll dump it in, but it's a tired Sun Devil group. They'll go for a change.
Maybe a little face for tomorrow.
30 seconds remains. Tristan Rand on this right side, getting harassed by King. Centers that one out in front. Nobody home. Matthew Gross will just get enough of the puck to clear it out. Parolo, D-to-D, under 10 seconds left. Oliver Band has to chase it down the corner. Still with it. Out in front, and Carollo is unable to tee one up as time has expired in the second period.
And the Sun Devils coming out doing just what the head coaching staff wanted to see, and that was a 60-minute effort. They played a good 20 minutes. We saw that last weekend against the Wildcats, but to get a good second period and build on that is really encouraging to see, and to have that 3-goal lead going to the intermission is huge for Arizona State as they look to get a massive win against this ranked UNLV team.
And we'll have live third period action here from Tempe in just under 15 minutes. At the end of 2, Arizona State 5, UNLV 2. This is Arizona State ACHA Hockey U2.
best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic. I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah. I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No,
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to live third period action here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube. I'm Brett Vaughn alongside now Cooper as we have the last 20 minutes of play here in Tempe. Rebels coming in. Good strong move by south of Polos, but it was even a better save by Glenn as the Rebels have to claw their way back in this hockey game down 3.
And Brett, I think the first 5 minutes of this third period is going to be huge for the visiting Rebels as they really need to get something going. Arizona State has dominated most of the action tonight.
Turnover in front, and King with a nice snapshot, but blockered away by Wakeland. Sun Devils trying to keep this pressure going because against a really talented team like UNLV, a 3-goal lead even for them could be snapped away in a jiffy.
Certainly the case. We saw it in the second period with how quickly they were able to jump in and get one on the man advantage after Arizona State had all the momentum. The Sun Devils are going to have to be very responsible this period, not give away anything for free.
Kristen Rand, give and go pass. Brodziak will drop the puck down. Erdman will try to throw it away. It'll come to a friendly Arizona State stick, as Alan Evtimov will try and chip and charge. Sun Devils still playing the body as Joseph Carollo is back on his feet. Evtimov has to keep his head up there, and luckily he did, as it looked like he was going to be lined up on the train tracks by the defenseman Kuntz. Carter Newland, fresh off the bench, will possess it now to Erdman, and he'll chip it down and go for a change.
Ian Erdman, another strong game tonight for Arizona State. The do-it-all defenser looking like a Swiss Army knife out here. And not the cheap kind either, the high-quality kind.
Jensen, who had a great second period and caught my eye for UNLV, is on the attack, and he'll get taken down as Trevor Kennedy will touch it. And it'll be the first penalty of this third period against Arizona State.
And we really saw it on display in the second. Dylan Jensen for UNLV. His biggest asset is his speed, and he's really had it going tonight. And right there, you see him get into a dangerous area behind Evtimov. He's moving his feet. And just unfortunate, Evtimov had a poorly timed stick check there, gets it stuck under the skate, and that's an easy call for the referee. Just as we were talking about chances for UNLV, this is a great chance for them, and the special teams for Arizona State really need to step up.
I'll say what the doctor ordered here for UNLV as they have the man advantage early in this third period. Wyatt with that shot on, as I think he was trying to use the defenseman Olsen maybe as a partial screen, but unsuccessful as Glenn was able to see that one all the way.
Yeah, good job by Olsen to kind of just inch out of the way so Glenn could get a good look at that shot, and he gloves it down easily.
Rebels win the draw again. Point shot on from Kuntz gets paddled away by Glenn, and it'll get cleared all the way down by Marchand.
And Carson Cooch, a fellow utility man out here, he's had a great night and leading the charge on the penalty kill. We've seen him all over the place. Expect to see him continue to move his feet and be a nuisance.
Gallant trying to find some open ice. He does. Rebels try to get set up. White, the one-timer. Kicked away by Glenn. Wyatt. Shot on. They're trying to battle for it. It'll come to Jackson Wyatt. Now to Cole. Shot partially blocked, and Cooch will dump it all the way down. 50 seconds remain on the power play for the Rebels.
Sun Devils doing exactly what they need to early, bending but not breaking. Some saves from Glenn when they needed them, and a timely clear there.
Second unit out for UNLV, but Erdman, good defensive play to just keep it out. Oliver Band skates it in now. Stop. Plays it up to Nagra. Nagra looking for a shooting lane, doesn't have it. Band passes it over to the other side, and that shot from Brodziak gets deflected up and out of play. 21 seconds remain on the power play for the Rebels.
And we talked about it countless times tonight, the block shots, just as important, the active sticks defensively from the Sun Devils, sending that one up into the netting. And we almost had a nice souvenir here.
Rebels initially lose the draw, but they'll get it back and they'll set up. Brodziak on the half wall, wrist shot on, and he might have had the shot to beat Glenn, but it was inaccurate. As the second stick off on the minor penalty, out comes Dominic Eftimov. Arizona State back to 5-on-5 play. Rebels keep the pressure on, rebound in front of Glenn. Shot on, and another quick reaction stop by Glenn, and he's trying to signal to the referee that his helmet got knocked off. One of the straps came loose, and he'll get that whistle.
And Glenn doing some great work between the pipes. You see that UNLV seems to really be targeting those high shots on him. That last save there with the waffle board down low to his right. And Glenn doing everything he needs to. You know, they say that your goaltender has to be your best penalty killer, and he just was for Arizona State as they killed it off.
Takes a Sun Devil bounce off the kick plate. The stick of Marchand. Drops it off to Gross, centered out in front, and he was trying to find Butler, but he couldn't.
Well, do you really think this team is going to look hard at the playoffs?
Rebels have to touch back up, and they'll elect for a cross-corner dump. Marchand, D to Olsen. Sun Devils trying to get it out quick. They do. Carter Newland trying to play that up to his stick, but it wasn't a clean transition. Rebels come back in. Jensen's shot will get sticked up and out of play by a good defensive stick by Olsen. The captain for Arizona State, always solid, especially in his own end.
Very much so. Kate Olsen continuing the long tradition we have here of defensive captains on this team, the Saskatoon, Saskatchewan native, with a nice active stick. We saw him before the last game sporting a nice look coming in, Brett. It seems Arizona State really came to play tonight on and off the ice, especially with their pregame looks.
Hey, the great Michael Jordan, look good, play good, and Arizona State right now are playing very well, so they must have looked sharp coming into the building tonight.
I don't think I ever saw Michael Jordan on skates, but I could be wrong.
As it'll be picked up by Alan Evtimov. He'll find Kylie Ram with the pass in his skates. And just not a clean break into the zone for Arizona State on an opportunity. 3-on-2 for the Rebels, and they go offside again. Might be the second or third time this game they have an odd man rush, does UNLV, and they come in illegally.
The senior forward, Cole Wyatt, shaking his head in disbelief as UNLV just don't seem to be on the same page tonight, zigging when they should be zagging. The chemistry not quite there as they're shaking off the rust, it seems, even still from the bus trip down south to Tempe.
Nagra, hard rim around. Dominic Evtimov tries to help it along. He gets turned over. Nagra, rip shot on, deflected to the side by Brodziak. He's jamming at it. Puck will pop out of the corner. Jonathan Murphy will skate it out to the neutral zone, and it gets dumped back in by UNLV. Murphy turns it over, and he'll have to retrieve it to the other corner. Gets a hard hit by Gallant. Brodziak can't keep the puck in. UNLV a good spell in these last few minutes and change, trying to make a dent into this Arizona State lead.
I would say probably the best few minutes we've seen tonight from UNLV, generating some quality scoring chances, but Nathaniel Glenn up to the task for Arizona State.
Jensen will try to hit some of his fresh teammates coming off the bench, but they'll have to collect it back in their own zone and try again. It'll get deflected into the Arizona State zone. Erdman does just enough to get it to Chase, to Cooch, and now they're breaking. Coming in hard is Trevor Kennedy as he'll get pinned up to the wall. It'll find Cooch. Cooch to Ben Chase filling in defensively. We'll dump it back down. Murphy takes another check, this time from Kyle Quinn. Erdman will just elect to dump it in and go back to his defensive posture, and he'll defend this play from the Rebels. Wrist shot on from Keenan, stopped by Glenn, and he'll get a whistle with 12:23 in this third period.
And you see Ben Chase giving a nice little stick tap there for his goaltender, making another save. UNLV with a good breakout, but nothing in front of the goaltender. You saw there a nice clean look Glenn had at the shot, and the way that he's looked between the pipes tonight, if you give him a clean look from that far out, he's going to be saving that shot 10 times out of 10.
Draw collected by the Rebels. Another point shot on from Kuntz, and Sun Devils are making it hard for UNLV to get any of that ice in the house, in the slot area where a lot of grade A opportunities live.
It's something we saw last week from the University of Arizona and their victory over Arizona State. And glad to see the Sun Devils learning from their mistakes, learning from some good teams, and taking that into their own hands.
Butler, great job pressuring the defenseman Kuntz all the way back in his own zone on the forecheck. Just past the 12-minute mark in this third period. Arizona State still holding on to their 3-goal lead. Rebels come in, wrist shot high, Glenn with a reaction stop, and it's whistled down. Looks to maybe be a penalty.
And that's Tristan Rand on his backside. The Valencia, California native, a number we've been calling a decent amount of time so far tonight for UNLV, as he's been in it offensively, defensively. He's had his paw prints all over this game. One of the best players tonight for the Rebels. As we look at the replay, he came in through the middle of the ice and took a hard check high right after he got that shot off. As he's getting some attention from the training staff. A little woozy, the forward for UNLV.
And good signs as he is communicating with the UNLV trainer out there, but still down.
And the referees right now consulting just back behind the play, speaking with the captains from both teams as they're going to sort out what the call will end up being. In any event, UNLV will have a power play. It'll be interesting to see, Brett, if they get anything beyond a 2-minute extended power play. We saw last week in their home series against Oregon, in the second game, they had a major penalty assessed to Oregon, and as UNLV scored multiple times on the power play, they ended up winning 16-0. Obviously, not the same situation tonight, but the referee certainly deliberating over this call.
And we now see Arizona State captain Kate Olson talking with the referees, one of the duties of a captain for any hockey team, and also to head coach Austin Klein coming off his perch, trying to communicate with the referees to see what the call is going to be.
Come on.
And Brett, in your playing days, were you ever a part of any of those conversations between the coaches and the officials? I'm sure you had a very high stature in terms of the leadership group on this team.
I was definitely a gentleman of the game, so usually I wasn't heading to the box. If I was heading over to the scorekeeper's table, it was usually to try to help out the coaching staff for the teams that I was on each and every year. And looks to be the referee still communicating on what the actual penalty is going to be, as we see Ty Marchant going into the box.
ASU minor penalty, number 15, Ty Marchant, 2 minutes for interference. Marchant, 2 for interference, time the penalty, 11:49 remaining in the third.
And so, just hearing the PA announcer here at Mount America Community Iceplex, I think it might have been, could have been worse, pardon me, for Arizona State, as it ends up still being just a 2-minute minor, and I think two of the referees maybe got that right.
Yeah, you can see back behind the play, the referee's still talking with head coach Vigneri Greener for the Rebels, as he's very animated on the bench. He certainly thought there could have been more than 2 minutes to that, and it wasn't the most malicious play. I think that was certainly the question, was what was the intent behind that hit? It was not a good hit, but I don't believe there was an intent to injure there, and Arizona State luckily gets away with only 2-minute penalty.
And they'll have a good start to the penalty kill as Kate Olson will dump it down 200 feet. Also, great job by our technical crew here with Dr. Ben Smith at the 1s and 2s of giving us a great replay on that penalty. Rebels will rim it down. They'll collect it. Cole Wyatt tries to get back into the spot. Coming to Jackson Wyatt. Gallant. Tight turnaround. Wyatt to Gallant as he's trying to go upstairs on the goaltender Glenn, but he does a great job sealing that near post. Fanning on the shot was Kuntz, and a diving attempt by Kylie Ram gets it cleared out into the center ice line. Another good effort by Kylie Ram on not allowing UNLV a clean break-in, and that forces the turnover and for Olsen to dump it down on the UNLV netminder.
And what an effort from Tyler Kylie Ram right there. He gave it his all defensively, was able to clear it once, won the puck back for Cade Olsen, and then they got a second clearance, and he will happily go to the bench after that big-time effort on the shorthanded chance.
Rebels break back in. 40 seconds remain on the man advantage. Fan. Negra. Backdoor passing. Glenn with a dandy here in the third, as he moves from right to left in the splits and robs the Rebels.
Preston Brodziak, the super senior, saw a super save from Glenn as he moved from his right to his left. Amazing effort as he went full spread eagle to make that save. And right now, Glenn continuing the heavy lifting in the crease for Arizona State.
Zathopoulos drops it with Rand. Nagra. Rand, good to see him back out there after getting shaken up earlier. Zathopoulos trying to go for that cross-crease pass. He elects for the defenseman up top, and Glenn snags it again as he's still locked in after 2 periods and change of play.
And Arizona State, maybe a chance here if they can get the face-off win. Only 7 seconds left on the penalty. You see Ty Marchant standing ready to jump out of the box. If they can maybe kill it in the corner for a few seconds and then throw a Hail Mary pass down the ice, they could catch UNLV napping.
Rebels win the draw. Van up to the point to Nagra.
ASU is back at full strength.
Shot goes through by the Rebels. It'll kick back out to Brodziak, and he's just shaking his head on what else he could do to get past Glenn tonight as Arizona State kills that penalty off.
And Glenn once again showcasing that great right foot, pushing hard over to his left. I haven't seen a right foot that good since Cristiano Ronaldo, Brett.
I would say Leo Messi, Niall, but we all know he is left-footed. Sun Devils will rim it out and clear it. Hayden Butler on the red line will play it back down to Benaldi. As we're past the halfway mark of this third period. No goals so far in this third period, which is something that if you're a Sun Devil fan, you don't mind. Butler coming in, though, trying to change that. And Wakeland had to be ready and alert, and he makes a stop.
And I think Caden Butler might have heard you say that as he broke in behind the defense. A great chance for the Sun Devils as they've been on their heels for almost the entirety of this third period. Arizona State almost getting doubled up in the shot column now.
Ben Chase out there in the face-off circle with Cooch and Newland. They're unable to possess the puck initially after the face-off. Rebels will dump it in. Glenn plays it and wraps it behind his net. Cooch unable to get there. They'll get a second opportunity at it. Benaldi rides his man to the boards. Chase, a beautiful play, showing off that poise. Trying to break it out the other side, and tough check taken by an Arizona State player. Play continues as Evtimov rips another wrist shot. Stopped by Wakeland.
And that was Alan Evtimov, the forward, taking the hard check back in his own end. His bucket nearly coming off there as he got to watch his brother generate a good chance, as Alan will head off behind the bench to get some work done, I believe, on his helmet.
Rebels win the defensive zone draw. Still being fought for. Newland will dump it back in. And if you're Arizona State right now, when you're trying to nurse this 3-goal lead, really trying to do all you can to make your opponent use every ounce of energy either in the neutral zone or in their own zone, that when they finally get it to the offensive zone, they're not going to be able to generate much offense.
Certainly the case here. You see an aggressive forecheck from Kylie Ram. And when you add on top of that how chewed up the ices tonight here at the Community Iceplex, I think it's just going to make things that much harder for UNLV. You've seen them trying to force those passes through at times, and the way the puck's bouncing, they're going to have to be a little more direct. They're just going to have to gain center ice and dump it in and go after it. And to your point, partner, if Arizona State keeps being aggressive, not allowing them to come out of their own end easily, these last 8 minutes and change are going to be extremely difficult for the Rebels.
But they have done a good job in the face-off circle tonight, but they turn it over. King trying to fight his way through and ends up going in offsides as he was facing some back-checking pressure by UNLV.
And I spoke earlier about Cristiano Ronaldo, Brett. He's obviously well known in the social media circles. Hunter Friesen, I think, is a name we ought to watch as a future TikTok star. He's got a good following going.
Centered out in front, and Glenn has to whack that puck away from his goal crease in the corner. Rebels applying the pressure again. Ford will elect to just bounce it off the backboards. The Lance centered out in front. Great stick, this time by Marchand, allows Arizona State to break it out. Jake King on his forehand. Still with the wrist shot, and he just misses high as he ends up getting pushed into the UNLV netminder. Play continues. Palmer wheels it up through the neutral zone. Wrist shot on, that gets tracked by Foreman, and we'll have Wakeland, and we'll have a stoppage in play. Both teams try to get their face-off positioning settled. They do, and the puck's dropped. You can also even see it, too, with Arizona State's plays. It's a lot of north-south hockey, which is what you want to do, not spend too much time side to side. Make your opponent try to go ahead and use all their energy up.
It's been a lot better than what we saw against the University of Arizona. That was a lot more east to west. A whole lot of stretch passes that didn't seem to connect. There's been some great breakout play tonight. Ty Marchand, I thought, has been one of the key guys in terms of getting those clean breakouts. We've seen some great footwork from him. His passing has also been top-notch tonight.
Rebels win another face-off. Second opportunity from Kuntz at the point. Gets deflected up and out of play. And I seem to be repeating myself a lot this hockey game with pucks getting out of play, and a lot of that has to do with Arizona State's defensive positioning, especially with their stick.
Certainly sounding like a broken record tonight, which is a good thing if you're any of the coaches for Arizona State. Happy to see them continuing that effort. That's something that has plagued this team in recent years, not being able to see that effort all the way through. Not the case tonight.
Jackson White gets around one Arizona State player. He's looking for a call, doesn't get one. Centered out in front. White still with it. Turnover in front, and Glenn with a big stop, this time on band with the glove. UNLV still working hard in the offensive zone. Shot on, and that deflection by Williams goes behind the net. As Erdman for Arizona State will go back to the bench as he lost his stick. Glenn asking for an icing call. He gets waved off, so he'll elect to play it. Eftimov, nice backhand pass on the tape to Chase. Now Butler. Butler stops. Kept in from the point. Shot on, and that's stopped by Wakeland. Eftimov's shot goes wide. Again, Arizona State making sure all 5 Sun Devil players are beneath the puck. Gallant rims it around, stopped behind his net by Glenn. Cooch. Now to Alan Eftimov. He has some time and space. Sends a check to the middle, and he misses one left of the net. Olsen, fresh off the bench, couldn't get there to keep that puck in, and he'll play it up to his forward, Kylie Ram. Kylie Ram around one. He'll try to fight through a check. He'll get some help from his line mate, Friesen. Marchand trying to find a shooting lane, plays it back down low, centered out in front by Kylie Ram. That puck goes up into the air into the corner. Kylie Ram behind Gretzky's office in front, and they score! Great work by that offensive line, and Trevor Kennedy sees that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and he ends up making it a 6-2 Arizona State lead.
Trevor Kennedy saying, "How do you do?" as he pots that one away, and Arizona State going up by 4 here, exactly what you would want to see with 5 minutes left, being rewarded for some great defensive play. They withstood the Rebel attack, go down the other way, and I think you mentioned it, Kylie Ram behind the net with some great work, just continuing to put his hard head on, get to work in the corner, and he makes a great pass to Kennedy in front, who makes no mistake.
Puck gets centered in front by UNLV, but it's kept away. Jensen with his head up. And even more urgency now needed for UNLV if they want to climb back in to this game. Wakeland has to play that one. Find a nice pass for Jensen, but they turn it over. And that's definitely a great goal for the Arizona State coaching staff to see, because that means that Sun Devils have not been resting on their laurels even with a multi-goal lead, and they get rewarded for it.
And UNLV a bit shell-shocked tonight. Through 120 minutes coming into this game, had not conceded a single goal. All 3 goalies, in fact, had been a part of a shutout in one way or another. And the Sun Devils chasing the starting goalie tonight and continuing to deposit goals in the back of the net.
Williams for the Rebels centers that one in front. Kept in by Kuntz. Robinson now will have it, and he'll elect to just chip it out. Sun Devils go for a partial change. Pass in the skates of Butler. He has to brace for the hit, and he turns it over. Butler will try again. Erdman. The Palmer looking for that stretch play, and they'll just elect to get it out. No icing called with 3 minutes and change left in the hockey game.
And if you're Arizona State down the stretch here, all you want to do is play some smart hockey, not give up any turnovers. Keeping a nice 4-goal cushion would be huge in terms of the rankings leaving this game. And more than that, just the confidence knowing that you saw out this victory the right way.
Butler cross angle shot off the boards to Chase. He'll have to get that puck. As again, something you don't mind if you're Arizona State, just killing the rest of this game off, especially if it's in the offensive zone. Referee's right there, not electing to whistle it down, as the puck will finally get dislodged to UNLV stick. Brodziak trying to go for that cross seam pass to Gallant, but again with that ice all chewed up, it's hard to complete those. Too tough of a breakout pass from the defenseman Nagra will force that one to go for an icing.
And you can see it starting to play out now. Not only UNLV on the road, feeling it a little bit, also short-handed coming into tonight. Not 100%, a little bit banged up. And Arizona State really took advantage of that early. And we continue to beat a dead horse here, Brett, but the effort from Arizona State has been there from the opening puck drop to now just a few minutes left in the game.
Which is always weird to say, as, again, like you mentioned, partner, Arizona State getting outshot 2-1. But again, all that really matters is that score at the end of the day, and Arizona State with their hustle is what has allowed them to get this lead right now. Played by Wakeland behind his net. A couple Rebel players hop out as we're under 2 minutes to go in the contest.
And it's certainly going to be hard when this is all said and done. Trying to pick who had the best performance of the night. There's certainly going to be a lot of names that we're looking at when this is all said and done for our player of the game.
Also, we're in that territory of the hockey game with the back-to-back. As I'll finish that point later. UNLV's shot on, and that gets snapped up by Glenn, and some frustration showed by the forward Oliver Band for UNLV, as the thorn in his side has been the goaltender Glenn for this UNLV team.
Oliver Mann was trying to make that puck dance, if you will, on that shot, and he was not too happy as that went right in the breadbasket. Glenn continuing his fine effort tonight.
And to finish up with my point, as we have this is the first game of a back-to-back, as maybe I shouldn't finish that point as the play continues on, and that shot misses wide from Jensen.
I think the hockey gods are trying to tell you something, partner.
King will try to collect up a band, outworking his man to get that puck. As that puck gets centered in front by Cole Wyatt. Gets taken away. Now under 50 seconds remain in the hockey game. Rebels trying to get at least one back for some momentum in tomorrow night's contest. Jake King, great job using that big frame of his. Will chip it all the way down. Wakeland looking for that stretch pass. Will find Cole Wyatt. And he'll just dump it in and go for a change.
And how appropriate to see the third line for Arizona State on the ice for what will probably be the last shift tonight. Carson Cooch, the first one over the bench. What a game from him.
Absolutely. Some of those depth guys where you rely on them to bring the energy for the Sun Devils, and they've done so in spades tonight. As we're under 10 seconds to go, you can see some and hear some of the stick taps on the Arizona State bench. As the puck will just set up in behind the net of UNLV zone, and that'll do it. As Arizona State, with most likely their best performance of the year against the top three opponent.
Arizona State, an amazing bounce back from last weekend. Not the greatest effort against their rivals from down south. They show up tonight with the tallest task of the season potentially in front of them, and they deliver on home ice in an emphatic fashion.
As we see the Arizona State players giving some helmet taps and some knuckles to their goaltender Glenn, as he had an amazing performance tonight. And they salute the hometown fans here in Tempe with a great performance as well by the fans. As we get things set up here at Mountain America Community Iceplex, as the Sun Devils with a great performance, that 60 minutes performance that head coach Austin Klein was alluding to, what he wanted to see out of his team. As Niall Cooper is here with me, I'm Brett Vaughn, and Niall, going off of that with that 60-minute performance, what does Arizona State have to do for tomorrow to repeat that?
Well, I think this is very interesting territory because we've seen in past seasons Arizona State, a lot of the time, they seem to start hot early in the year and fade. And right now, we haven't seen a performance like this against the top three team in quite some time. So for the Sun Devils, enjoy it. Go into the locker room, celebrate with your teammates, go get a good night's rest, and then come back tomorrow because you know UNLV is going to bring everything they have and then some. I think we're going to have to see another good goaltending performance tomorrow from Arizona State if they're going to want to get a second victory and sweep UNLV.
And partner, I know it was hard tonight. It was a full team effort, top to bottom from this Arizona State team. But who is your player of the game?
Well, I have to give a little nod to the goaltender, Nathaniel Glenn. An amazing job between the pipes. He saw almost 50 shots of rubber tonight, but he's just honorable mention, Brett. I think my player of the game, if you've been tuning in, which I know a lot of you folks have been the whole night, it's going to be Carson Cooch. I've been talking about him. I might be his number one fan. I think I'm going to go get a customized jersey when we're done, but he's did it in all phases of the game. He did it in his own end with great penalty killing. At the top of the unit, he was very aggressive. He did it on the forecheck. He laid a lot of body. And not only that, he got a goal. His first goal of the season, first point of the season. He did it everywhere. His fingerprints are all over this one. He's my player of the game.
And folks, Arizona State with a great performance here on Friday night. You get to see them back in action again tomorrow night against these same UNLV Rebels. Broadcast will start at 6:30 p.m. Before we go tonight, I want to say thank you to a very special group of people to help make this broadcast possible. Our Director of Operations was the one and only Dr. Ben Smith. Our wardrobe coordinator tonight was the one and only Jason Hernandez. And the audio engineer tonight was Sharon Cooper. One final time here from Tempe for my partner, Niall Cooper. I'm Brett Vaughn, reminding you of tonight's final score. The Arizona State Sun Devils win against the UNLV Rebels by the score of 6-2. Thank you so much for tuning in, and so long from Tempe, Arizona.